Alright, so I've been talking about this other Logan lathe for a little while. This is the bed of it. It just kind of lives over in this corner of the garage. One of the issues with this thing is, so right about there is where the head of it sits. And then right in there, it's really dinged up. So I don't know how much wear there actually is, and really don't have any reasonable means to measure such a thing at this point in time. So one of the crazy ideas I've had is possibly taking this bed and cutting about 16 inches off of it so that it will fit on that cabinet. So I still have a lot to think about with regards to this, to decide if that's the direction I want to go, or if I want to just cut the cabinet in half and lengthen it to fit this bedways and possibly put it back together and sell it like that. So like I said, I'm not sure how exactly I'm going to manage that just yet, but it will never be like a proper Logan lathe. When I got this thing, I'll try to reference the original video of when I brought it home so that you guys can kind of see how cobbled together it was to begin with. But what I wound up doing was taking bits and pieces off of it to make that one relatively complete. So this one was originally missing the quick change gearbox and the lead screw and the apron. It was using this linear actuator that runs behind it. So as you can see, I'm still running the linear actuator. I don't have the gear mechanism or the gears in the apron that would operate off of the lead screw for, what is it, longitudinal travel. Anyways, the worm gear, the way it's set up, it's very badly worn, along with a couple of the other pieces that it meshes with. So I'm just continuing to use the electronic part because it's a heck of a lot easier anyways. But those pieces, those parts are probably going to live on this lathe. And the other lathe, or the other, so there's the other headstock. I spent some time working with the bearings. I got the bearings running really nice and smooth. Pretty much very little lash on them. One other interesting tidbit is, a couple years ago I picked up a quick change gearbox from a completely different brand of lathe. Had a huge gearbox. The gearbox was, I don't know, probably about 2/3 the size of the headstock of that headstock there. So it wasn't going to be of any great value to me on either of the Logans. But after doing a little bit of research, it almost looks like some, if not most, of these gears are virtually the same, or at least virtually the same number of teeth as the quick change gearbox that's on the Logan. So I'm thinking I may have enough of the right stuff here to start producing an imitation quick change gearbox. So at any rate, between that and producing a partial apron with at least the half nuts, and putting another electronic feed mechanism on it, because after being spoiled by the linear actuator on my first Logan, I definitely don't have any interest in going back to or ever using the feed range. I don't know how to say it properly. Any rate, so many thousandths of an inch per revolution, that sort of thing. I've gotten completely spoiled on doing it like this, because I can vary the speed right on demand, right in the middle of a cut with that dial there. So that is definitely something that is going to continue to be used by me, and then just use the quick change gearboxes for, you know, thread cutting, that sort of thing. One of the other things I've contemplated is a bunch of motor juggling. So this lathe has a 2 horsepower single phase motor that I got from Harbor Freight, and it is a fuzz smaller than this 1.5 horse. So what I'm contemplating possibly doing is taking that aforementioned 2 horsepower motor and mounting it somewhere down here so that it doesn't take away from the silhouette of the mill itself. Be out of the way, tucked away, nothing crazy going on overhead. And this 2 horsepower 3-phase motor will probably go on the new, I guess you would say, the new Logan lathe with a VFD to get speed control, because I'm not going to have the variable speed abilities of this one. And then if I do wind up selling this lathe, then it'll probably get that 1.5 horse motor. So we'll see. Like I said, I've got a lot of things to contemplate on this yet. But I think this is probably going to be the lathe that I sell, ultimately. And then replace it with whatever I do with the other one. So, anyways, that's my rambling for the Logan lathe. Oh, some of the other parts are upstairs already. The, what is it? The, anyways, I've got 2 other parts upstairs for it. I hate getting tongue-tied on these videos, but it happens to me all the time. Really, the only thing that I would ultimately be missing, other than the cabinet, is the quick change gearbox, lead screw, and apron. The rest of the stuff, the drive and power, I can figure out one way or another. It's just a matter of deciding how I want to handle this really beat up bed on this thing. So anyways, hopefully I'll have some video about the Cochran Bly later tonight.